and welcome back to my channel, Emma Jane's Garden. I am Emma and I'm not in the garden today, but I am in my garage slash workshop. I am a flower farmer, florist, mainly florist, in Cornwall in the UK. I grow as many flowers as I can, but the floristry is where my heart is. And so that is what we're doing today. So I'm actually doing a funeral sheaf today, and I thought you may as well come along with me for the ride. So I'm going to show you what I've picked. So everything that I'm going to show you I have grown myself. This is for a funeral, and they wanted blues, reds, whites, pinks, oranges. They weren't really too fast. They said they'd like to have some roses if possible, but they didn't really mind that. Just it's for a man and they wanted to be a bit more manly. I made them one, unfortunately, not that long ago, which was for their mum, which was lots of pinks, and it was very pretty, but they wanted this to be very different because this is for their dad. So I have got the these really lovely red. In fact, they're not as dark on the picture as they are here, but they've got some lovely red dahlias. I've also got this lovely rose. This is Roald Dahl. I've got this rose as well. I'm just going to take some of these guard petals off that are just looking a bit sorry for themselves, but that's quite a nice rose too. Oh, this is a beautiful dahlia, this one of my favourites. We got some yellow dahlias there too. Now they did ask for white, but white was just going to, against the red, just didn't look right to me, so I put yellow in. So I'm hoping they don't mind too much. I've got some everlasting sunflowers. I think this is called Vanilla Ice, I think. But she's gone a bit droopy since I've picked her. I do have a problem with this sometimes, but this isn't till tomorrow, so I'm hoping if I keep it in water overnight, it'll be all right. But this is really just for a background foliage, so I'm not worried too much if it is a little bit wilty, because I think it'd be fine by the morning. But if not, I have got a load of bay. My rosemary all died, so I haven't got any rosemary at the moment, which is really annoying. I have lots of cuttings, but they're not big enough to cut. Then I've got some hydrangeas, so I've gone for a little range from the darker blue, through to like the paler blue. So these ones are just starting to turn and be ready for drying. But my bushes have just decided to keel over. Not for any reason, it's just I had something else growing through them and it's weighed them down. So I'm going to take a load of cuttings of these later this week. Oh, that one's not staying in properly now. They're pretty. And then this is just some spare buckets from things I made yesterday, so I may not use any of that. But this is the stuff that's going in here. So I've got this lovely blue. I don't know if it's showing up how blue this is, of the Eryngium. Then I've got the purples, pinks. I've got some cornflowers in here, but I've only got a few blue ones. But I had some purples and stuff. I've got some millet. Do like that as a texture, and then lots of statice, and I've picked loads of statice because I've got another little bunch of flowers to make up, and also I can dry that if I don't use it. Loads of achillea. I've actually got loads of this somewhere in here. I've got some of the I can't think what it's called, that thing. I'm really rubbish with the names. Oh, and then I've got the yellow of the Rebecca in the back there. So there's the statice is round, not statice, the achillea is round there. So that's all the flowers. So I'm going to make a simple sheaf. So it's not a double heighted one, it's just the smallest. So it's about 2.5 foot maybe. It's not massive, so I can just use long stems. So what I'll do is I'm just going to be layering up. So you're going to be layering sort of one on the base and then to the sides as if you were making a bouquet in that same shape, like that. And then you just keep adding. But as you go down, you go lower and lower and lower until you get to the bottom. And then for the bottom, I'll use one of the hydrangea just to cover the point at the bottom, and then it's going to be wrapped in raffia. Okay, so I've got a really nice bit of the bay here. So I picked these really lovely long bits. I think this is the best one because it's already got that V shape coming off it. So I'm going to take some of these lower leaves off. And I'll just take... Should have left that one on. You never put something back on. Whoops. Never mind. Take that one off the back sides. Because remembering that we're making something that's going to need, it needs to be full and fat. basically. So make sure you're taking off anything that is a little bit older looking. Looks so good. So back of this is going to be mainly the bay, so I might use this one as well. So I'm just going to snip off all the side branches. I don't want any of those, but they may come in useful in a minute. So what we're going to do is have so that's kind of our base. So I always do a layer of green first, and then I'll start layering in flowers. So basically keeping that V shaped, and you can see it, the crosses at the bottom. My binding point is sort of down here, and then on my table here I've got my, I know it needs to be just a bit bigger, so I'm thinking that's going to come out long enough. So then we're going to go in with some of these yellows, and we're just going to build it up from there. Right, let's put in some of the dahlias. I do really like these yellow dahlias, very pretty. These red ones are so long. These are going to make a really good base. The short ones back in. Okay, so what you can't actually see is I've got a mirror just in behind you here, and I like to see what's happening at the front all the time. So I've got the mirror here, so that when I've got it down at the angle I can see where things are looking, because obviously on a funeral you're going to, people are seeing it from sort of head height, and from the edges. They're not going to see it from the top very much. So everything needs to be really interesting from the sides and up above. So the way I make these sheaves is I actually make them in two halves. So I'm going to make the top layer first, then I'll bind it off, and then I'll make a bottom layer which will sit just down here, but it'll all be one bunch at the end. So I'm going to focus on getting all the flowers up and around at the top here. But I don't want to have too many. It's actually looking really nice with the reds and the yellows. We need to get some of the blue in as well. But the blue's going to be quite awkward to get in, I think. I'm not sure. The blue's going to come in lower. Blue over here. That's good. Nice. So it's one of those things, a sheaf is one of those things you just have to learn. It's a bit of trial and error. I say that with everything, don't I? You just have to practice. There's no point saying, oh, I can do that, and then just taking an order for it. You've got to practice these things. And then we're just going to fill in with some of the verbena, like this. So with the verbena you can just slide it in where you've got some space. I'm just wondering if these roses are tall enough yet. I think they're going to have to go in the next row down. Quite long enough. So I've turned it on, but I've done all the bunches. So what I've decided to do this time, just because I was having trouble, so I've gone back to doing it in a different way to the way I was going to try and do it all in one, but my some of the stems just weren't long enough. So I've done it in the 3 bunches. So I've got the back bunch, side bunch, and then another bunch. So that's all in here. So I've got a smaller bunch here, got a medium bunch here, about the same size actually, those two. And then I've got these roses which I want to go slap bang in the middle. So they're going in separately. And then I've got the big one, which I've started making. So that's the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lie. So what's going to happen is basically they're going to lie like this. That one's going to go on there like that. And then that one's going to lie like this. So it's slightly further down. Oh, and those roses are going in the middle, just to brighten the middle up slightly. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So let me just move the camera so you can see how I do it. Okay, so I'm just going to get some string so we can start tying off a couple of pieces. So this is our main one. Now again, I've got my mirror so I can see what I'm looking at. Tape was holding it up, but hopefully it won't fall over. So I can see what people are going to see at the end of the coffin. And then I've got this one, so I'm going to add, so I've added those roses in on the top, which I wanted in there. And then I'm going to go in with the third bunch. I can see that that's looking lovely that side, so I'm going to just tie this one in. So if you tie as you go along, then obviously nothing's going to move out of the way how you're wanting it. I'm getting a bit braver with this string now, although once it does get wet it is a pain. Just try not to get it wet, which I have just done. Never mind, we'll be going around again in a minute. Okay, see, right, so that's that one tied on. And then we're going to come around with this second one. So this is going to come slightly lower again. So basically you just want to like fiddle with it until it goes where you want it. So you don't want to crush any of the flowers that you've got in there. If there's anything you think needs to just move, like I think this hydrangea just needs to be a bit higher up because the blue was obviously one of the things they wanted. So don't, obviously try not to tie too tight when you do it so that you can have a bit of movement. I'm just going to give it a bit of a wiggle to get it to come up a bit higher. There we go. And then that rose can sit just sort of in the hydrangea then, like this. So that hydrangea is quite floppy, but I think it's just because they were in the shade, because like I said, something had grown in and through all my hydrangeas and it's pulled them all down. There we go. And then that one can go there, like this. Now I've noticed a bit of a gap just here. I'm not sure what to put there because I don't really want to put another hydrangea in. I think the 3 hydrangeas is enough. I do have a pink rose. I have got a pink rose there already. No, I think it's going to be fine. Better. Again, so you can lift it up and see from the sides in the mirror. I love that. It's looking lovely. Okay. So, okay, and we're just going to tie this whole thing off now. I'm not going to tie, I'm just going to tie it over the top like this because we're going to bind it now anyway. So they want it bound in raffia. So what we're going to do is snip that off tight, and then we're going to bind it with raffia. So this is just going to go round and round, just wrap itself around the whole base of this. And this looked really nice last time, so we're going to do the same. And then I finish it off underneath. I'm just going to go around. you just want to cover up any workings that you've got there, so where all the bunches are tied together, so you want to make sure you can't see those. With this, you could use ribbon for this as well. They've requested that I use the raffia, which is looking lovely. Right, awkward but beautiful. Okay, so I'll pull this to the end of the bench because what we're going to do is tie it underneath, and I don't want to be turning this upside down. I think that is it. We are done. It's about 2.5 foot. Yeah, about that. Okay, so there we go. That's done. That's actually really pretty. I think it'll look better. I'm going to go and take some videos outside of it. It'll be better outside. But yeah, pretty. And I'm going to deliver it in a bucket of water because the funeral's not till tomorrow, so it'll be in water overnight, but the family are travelling with this tomorrow, so it needs to go in a bucket for tonight. But yeah, I think that's really pretty. Slightly better view from outside, so this is what it will look like from this end, people viewing it from this end, and then as we come round you can see that there's all the way around there's interest. All the way around. Oh yeah, I think it's really pretty. I always think it's pretty. Just needs a bit of fiddling with because there we go. There's flowers here. But yeah. But I need to go and deliver this now and then take my daughter to her swimming lesson. So let's all go here in the summer holidays. But yeah, I think really pretty. So thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you found that interesting. If you like my videos, please leave a comment, thumbs up, press the like and press the bell icon, and then you'll know when I have videos coming up in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.